with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Who you with, Kirk? I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. I'm 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 who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm who you with, Kirk, dog. Want to welcome everyone to the show tonight. Hopefully y'all having a great Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week. Want to welcome everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is in the house. I don't know if y'all can hear. I don't know what that was. But welcome to the show. Y'all can actually chat live with us in the chat room. We have a great show coming up for you. So definitely chat live with us in the chat room. Tell us how you feel today. I have a question for everyone. What are your plans for spring break? What are you gonna do? Let us know in the chat room exactly what you're gonna do for spring break. Um, so tonight we're gonna talk about, and I didn't get a chance to add this into the message for tonight, but 31 DFW miners have been recovered right here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So we're gonna talk about that first. Then we're gonna talk about old Connie Meggs. Yeah. Then we're gonna talk about Stewart Rhodes, the leader of Oath Keeper, and then campaign for accountability. We're going to talk about that and whatever else is on your mind tonight. We're going to hit on that too. So it came out earlier today that 31 DFW area miners recovered, rescued in a month-long operation. So the United States Attorney Office for the Northern District of Texas announced Wednesday, March the 10th, 31 DFW area children have been located, recovered, or rescued as a result of Operation Missing in the Metroplex, a month-long operation led by the U.S. Marshal Service and Homeland Security investigation. Um, the federal agency partnered with 4 local police departments: the Arlington Police Department, the Dallas Police Department, the Fort Worth Police Department, and the Grand Prairie Police Department to locate the missing miners. Analysis with the Texas Department of Public Safety, missing an unidentified person unit, and the Texas Department of Family and Protective Service provided critical intelligence. Local nonprofit 41 provided 24-hour support and relayed numerous tips and accumulated in recoveries. To observe law enforcement partnership and community concern accumulating to such a successful recovery outcome and rewarding, said acting United States Marshal Quintella Downs Bradshaw. Victims should know they are not forgotten. There is hope and a way to return home. While this joint operation lasted approximately 30 days, HSI Dallas will continue working relentless to identify and recover missing children who became vulnerable to human traffic across the North Texas region, said HSI Dallas Special Agent in Charge Ryan L. Sparling. By continued collaboration with other local, state, and federal law enforcement partners, our and non-governmental organization is virtual to combating this global uh, epidemic. At least 7 recoveries were a critical missing children with ties to sex trafficking. Noteworthy case included 15-year-old Jane Doe recovered by Dallas police at a resident in Dallas following a tip by uh, confidential source. A 17-year-old Jane Doe recovered by Dallas police inside a vehicle in Dallas. A 16-year-old Jane Doe recovered by Arlington police, a resident in Kearns, Texas, following analysis of social media. So, um, so altogether, it was 31 people that was recovered. I'm glad they are still looking for these people, for the kids, and hopefully the ones that actually took them will be held accountable for their actions, and leave the kids alone. The kids are innocent. Leave them alone. Let's do the right thing. Make sure we're taking care of these kids, and also these police department, the men and women that is on the front line, that is actually um, doing the hard work, and we don't know the condition of these kids, so we definitely need to keep them in our prayers. Welcome to the show. Radio Chaos is in the house. um, Welcome to the show. So yeah, that's and it's going to be more of these come up. I want to say we read a couple of months ago they had an operation like that. um it was I think it was in Georgia. What's going on? Ivan King is watching on Facebook. Welcome to the show. Um, I want to say the last operation they did like this, where they recovered a lot of young kids that was being sex trafficking. Um, it was in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. So uh, definitely, if you see something, say something. If you know something, say something. For we can bring the kids home safely. All right. Well, um, now we're going to talk about old Connie. Connie Meggs. Yeah. She's a member, a malicious member charged in the Capitol riot. Say her court hearing should be delayed because her wedding ring is stuck on her finger. I read that and I said, what they got to do with it? Uh, you did the terrorist attack on the U.S. Capitol, but now you can't. You want to delay your trial? So after I researched a little bit, she couldn't get on the plane. Well, at this point, you won't be able to take that wedding ring to prison. So they might well just go ahead and cut it off, unfortunately. Um, so she's a part of the Oath Keeper. She live in Florida. Um, she's a member of the far right Oath Keeper militias who participated in the riot at the Capitol building. Say her court hearing should be delayed because her wedding ring is stuck. Her lawyer said in a court filing. Metz was arrested in Florida on February 17th alongside her husband, Kelly Metz, who was also charged over his participation in the insurgent, I'm going to say terrorist act. But while Kelly Metz was extradited to Washington, D.C. to be jailed ahead of his trial, Connie Meggs wasn't allowed to board the plane. When Miss Meggs was taken to Jacksonville International Airport, she was denied boarding of the aircraft because she was wearing her wedding ring, which apparently cannot be removed past the knuckles on her ring finger. Her attorney, David Anthony Wilson, wrote in a court filing review by insiders. She was then taken back to jail in Orlando, Florida, where the official there refused to cut the ring from her finger. To this day, she remained in that facility. The 59-year-old Connie participated in a mob that stormed the Capitol building on January 6th. Prosecutors say the insurgent sought to stop Congress from certifying the country electoral votes in favor of now President Joe Biden as the urging of then President Donald Trump, who false claimed the 2020 election was rigged. Um, Prosecutor have identified the Oath Keeper as one of the far-right group that planned violence ahead of the event. Along with the 3% and Proud Boys, 10 members of the Oath Keeper have been charged in public court documents so far. Because Connie Meggs remains jailed in Florida, her attorney has asked the judge to delay the hearing over her case, which will be based in Washington, D.C. Meggs says she could participate in the hearing via video if she released on bail, Wilson said. If they release on bail, we'll never see her again. That's my opinion. See, that's why I did not read your comment until I got finished. Radio asked, "What oath are they keeping to be a bunch of damn fools?" Um, I I'm like, hey, I that's what they call it, but um, okay, I'm confused. I'm like, hey, call it like it is. So she's unable to get on the plane in Florida, so I guess somebody gonna have to do a long road trip to DC, or they're gonna have to cut the ring off. One of the two. Now, why the jail will not cut the ring off, I have no idea. But it's not like she's gonna be wearing it for anytime soon. And I don't know if anybody pulled the mud shot up, but hey, I'm just saying, radio, pull up a mud shot and let me know what you think. Um, but the thing is, they are very special people. That's all that is. Um, I'm like this. If we treated everybody right the way that we want to be treated, this world would be much better. But for her to say the only way she's gonna participate in the trial via video, she have to get bail. It's not your choice. It's not your choice. You don't have a choice. So you had a choice when you went to December on January the 6th and participated in that domestic terrorist attack. Um, but as for if however you go to trial, it's not your choice how you do it. If they bring a computer and a video camera in front of you, guess what? You on trial. You don't get a choice about this. You made that choice to go. You didn't have to go, but you made that choice. So now you're going to be held accountable. Uh, T. Callis in the house. Welcome to the show. He said, "Hey, Kurt Dog, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. Hopefully, you're having a great week and everything is going good." Radio said, "Yeah, her mugshot shows she is a deep thinker." Uh, yeah, I seen that. I just said, "Wow." That's all I could say. When I seen it, I was like, "Okay." And I was gonna get it if I could put it up on the stream, but that wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right. So I'm not gonna scoop down to that level. But yeah, um, unfortunately, um, Connie, it's not your choice how you do a trial, but eventually you are going to Washington, either with the ring or without the ring, because that ring coming off one way or another. You cannot wear that ring in prison, so it's coming off. T Cal said, I saw that mug shot. Yeah, I saw it too. And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, so the ring is coming off. Uh, so it's just a matter of time before it come off. Either you may, well, you're in prison, so you're in jail right now. So um, uh, you was in jail last night. Oh, I'm reading the comments. That's why I said last night. You were in jail. Maybe they could give you some Crisco or some butter or something. Uh, try to fly it off WD-40 or something. I don't know. But yeah, radio. We came on late last night. Came on late. I didn't get a chance to set my alert. But I'm gonna come on. We're still doing our family calls, and sometimes the calls be interesting. So I I try to get off and then come on. And yesterday I had a busy day. I didn't get a chance to set the show up early like I normally do and put out an alert. But I did come on. It was a little bit late. It was interesting though. So I appreciate you always sticking around. Um, so while we're talking about Connie Meggs, let's um talk about the leader, Stewart Rhodes, um, who is the founder of the Oath Keeper, and he's currently being investigated by the feds. Um, Radio said, I saw a video of baseball player Johnny Damon getting arrested for drunk driving 3 times over the legal limit. Ooh, accusing the cops of targeting him because he was a Trump supporter. Oh, Lord. Uh, okay. Let me know how that work out for you, because I don't think they're gonna go too good in court. Um, you 3 times the limit, and you figure they just target you because you're a Trump supporter? That don't. Uh, yeah, he said I'm a Blue Lives Matter and body cam footage of DUI. Yeah, excuse me. Um, yeah. What? So that was that's interesting. I don't know. Oh, he's an ex-Yankee star player, Johnny Damon, say he's a Trump supporter during a arrest video show. I'm not gonna say it, but I know somebody's thinking it. If you didn't say that, you probably wouldn't have got arrested. Everybody want people to know they're a Trump supporter until they get arrested. I'm just saying, it's. I know somebody thought of that. I just said it out loud because I know somebody was thinking of it. So, but also, so moving on over to the leader. Um, Oath Keepers founder is said to be investigated in Capitol riot. The inquiry is in, It's in its early stage and official caution, but prosecutor have begun laying out evidence in court papers. Um, so um, so the thing is once hold on. Uh hold on. hold on. Hold on real quick in Galloway. Oh, okay. Can I call you right back? I'm doing my show right now. Ooh, sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. Uh, one of my aunts called. I was trying to send it to voicemail, but I'm gonna have to call her back when I get off. Um, the FBI agent and federal prosecutors are investigating Stewart Rhodes, the founder and leader of the Oath Keeper militia, any any role he might have played in the storming of the Capitol 2 months ago, according to court documents and law enforcement official with knowledge of the matters. Um, while um, hold on, while the inquiry is in it, s- in the sense stage, the official said its existence shows that evidence appeared to be targeting the senior leadership of the group that Mr. Rose had run for more than a decade. If he were ultimately charged, it could amount to a crippling blow to the militia. The Oath Keeper, who largely draw their members from the ranks of former military and law enforcement personnel, have from the start been a central focus of the sprawling investigation into the Capitol riot, which has led to charges against nearly 300 people. 11 members of the group stand accused of a variety of crimes, stemming from a siege, most prominently an alleged conspiracy reaching back to shortly after Election Day to break into the Capitol and interfere with Congress' January 6th certification of the Electoral College vote. As three cases against his subordinate have moved through the courts, Mr. Rose, a former armor paratrooper, has been mentioned at least 6 times in legal filing as person one, effectively putting him on notice that investigators are examining his conduct. Prosecutors have noted, for example, that 2 days before the Capitol attack, he issued a call for action on the Oath Keepers website, urging all patriots who can be in DC to stand tall in support of President Trump, fight to defeat the enemies, foreign and domestic, who are attempting a coup. In the same Comrade Mr. Rose announced that the Oath Keeper would be sending multiple volunteers, security team to provide protection to VIPs at events surrounding Mr. Trump's speech and rally in Washington earlier of the day, the riot. The New York Times have identified a group of Oath Keepers who work as security guard for Mr. Trump, close ally and advisory Roger J. Stone Jr. At such event, and this week, two of them, Roberto Minuto and Joshua E. James, were arrested connected with the Capitol riot, with the Capitol attack. In court paper filed on Monday night, prosecutors significantly raised the stake against Mr. Rose, saying that they now have evidence that he was in direct communication with some of the plot suspect before, during, and after the assault on the Capitol. Prosecutors said they have recovered message batched together under the title DC Op January 6, 21 from the Crypt chatting app Signal Connection, Mr. Rhodes, to regional oath keeper leaders from around the country, including two who have been charged in the conspiracy case: Jessica M. Watkins of Ohio and Kelly Meggs of Florida. Um, in the Sydney message, prosecutors say Mr. Rowe can be seen as sharing members at a group that well equipped QRFs, or quick reaction forces, would be standing by outside of Washington on January 6th in case of worst case scenario. Prosecutor also say that the chat shows Mr. Rose monitoring event on the ground during the riot, and at one point ordering a group of Oath Keepers to rally on the southeast steps of the Capitol, after which several members entered the building in what has been described as the military style stack. Prosecutor overseeing the investigator, Mr. Rose, who attended Yale Law School after military service, have nonetheless struggled to make a case against him. The official, with knowledge of the matter, said his activity have seemed to stay within the boundaries of the First Amendment. Mr. Rose did not respond on Wednesday to message seeking comment. He told the Washington Post that his group had no plan to enter the Capitol. A Justice Department spokesman declined to comment, as said, as did an FBI spokeswoman. So this is kind of strange. Now, according to what was said, it was also said that he had radio communication. Um, he was actually uh, he was actually communicating with them by radio. Now, there was a guy, the one that was we talked about earlier this week, the one that was doing security for Roger Stone. He actually had a radio in his ear, earphone in his ear, for they can actually hear. So it's definitely interesting. Now I know uh, someone just called, left a message. I don't know who it was, but you can call back and we can put you in. Yeah, I know you still listening, but if you call back, we can add you in on the call. So uh, T Cal said exactly, keep the mess to yourself. Yeah, he was. Uh, yeah, I was thinking it. No, you would say it. I just call it like it is. But whoever the person was that just tried to call in, you could call back. The phone line is open now, so you could definitely call back, and we can let you speak your mind. Maybe you have some information we don't have. So you can definitely call back 972-591-3665, 972-591-3665. So all of this, at some point, people are going to start coming out saying what's on their mind, and they're going to start talking, trying to get a deal, because they have arrested over 300 people so far, and the feds are taking their time, getting putting all their ducks in a row. So if like I said, whoever the person was, just try to call, you could definitely call back, and we can get you in on the call. So uh, so definitely it's going to be interested, and it's going to be a lot more arrests to come. Like I said on past shows, if you was a part of it, the best thing you can do is to go ahead and turn yourself in. And that particular story was actually brought to you by the New York Times. I already know they're gonna say it's fake news, but hey, that's not the only platform that is carrying that particular story. So we do our homework here before we report it. so you can say what you want to say. So so we had Miss Connie Meggs, who is in jail in Florida. Her husband is in jail in Washington. She cannot get to Washington um, because she couldn't get a wedding ring off. And then turn around, um, you have Stewart Rhodes that is under investigation by the FBI, and he was communicating with Connie Meggs. So it's they connecting the dots. Um, so we're gonna keep watching these stories and see what happened because um I just seen a story I didn't see before. Every time Ted Cruz show up in the Senate, it's an assault on democracy. I agree with you because I cannot wait until his reelection come up. Unfortunately, he's not in it next year. But here in Texas, we have some house cleaning to do. Uh, Greg Abbott got to go. Um, Dan Patrick got to go. And you already know Ken, the allegedly gangster pastor, he got to go too. They all up for re-election next year. So we're gonna do some house cleaning and put Ted on notice next because when his election come up, he got to go. He got to go. They all have to go. So this next election is going to be very important for everyone to actually get out and vote here in Texas because this is none of this should have happened. Um, uh, oh, okay. Okay, so that's another story that I hadn't seen, but judge isn't buying undocumented Boogaloo boy dotted dad plea. An undocumented Dutch Boogaloo boy arrested by the FBI on weapons and immigration charges is a good dad who just wanted to be home in Virginia with his 6-year-old daughter, according to lawyers. Meanwhile, he is comfortable riding out his time in federal detention with financial support from fellow members of the Boogaloo movement, a larger decentralized extremist movement that aimed to overthrow the U.S. government by inciting a second civil war. In a decision handed down on Tuesday, Judge Pamela Meade Sargent ordered Jack William uh, Lichbers, who pled not guilty, held without bail um, until his next court appearance set for April 8th. Four supporters showed up for Labor Tuesday court appearance. A close friend of his told the Daily Paper, the Daily Beast, a fifth supporter was supposed to be there, but got rear-ended while driving to the courthouse and never made it. He said, um, "ICE has a hold on the bond." The friend said, Libajar, 26, who traveled to the U.S. on the 90th day tourist visa in 2014 and never left. If anybody wants to get him in a position to be able to bail out, they have to go through ICE. So here it is. Um, as the Daily Beast first reported, the FBI raided Livermore home in Tazewell County, Virginia last week, seizing a radical firearm, RF-15 military style rifle, along with 5 magazines, one of which was loaded, according to the criminal complaint in Virginia federal judge. He was a member of a private Facebook group that includes Stephen Corella, an infamous Boogaloo boy and former Air Force sergeant charged in a series of politically motivated killing cops last June. The complaint alleged Liberty had Also been in direct contact with Benjamin Ryan Teeter, a North Carolina Boogaloo boy who in December pled guilty to conspiracy charges for attempting to provide material support of homage, and with Ivan Harris Hunter, a Boogaloo boy from Texas, charged with riding after shooting up a Minneapolis police station with an AK-47 assault rifle during the civil unrest that followed the death of George Floyd. So this guy is trying to um, get out, but he already did some things, hanging out with folks that did some things, and you part of this group. It doesn't matter if you illegal or not. You're If you came here on a 90-day visa, like it said in 2014, it's 2021. What you been doing all this time? How are you making money? Yeah, mm, that's a long time. And the lawyer said he wanted to spend time with his daughter. I understand that. A father love. I understand that. But then you have ties to the groups that are doing hatred things. Um, yeah, unfortunately, like I say, you do the crime, you gotta do the time. So campaign for accountability. This was kind of an interesting read. Um, if he is missing his family, he should have thought of that before he stormed the Capitol. He was part of a private group on Facebook, and I guess they end up running across his profile when that guy shot up the police station last year, I believe, and the conspiracy theory. So, and they probably realized he been here way too long. It didn't say he stormed the Capitol, but they got him holding a RF-15, which is a very powerful rifle. So, assault rifle, which at this point he probably was part of them because it was some there. And at this point, he probably thought he could get in and then have anything to lose, or then think nobody would realize it was him, just like most of them. I'm just saying. Yeah, excuse me. But yeah, another story came out, which is kind of interesting. Um, watch Watchdog asked White at the community to provide guidance regarding abuse of process voting. So apparently there was 13 members at a house using the pandemic as an excuse to skip in-person vote to attend the Conservative Policy Political Action Conference, the CPAC in Orlando, Florida. Instead of voting on American uh, laws or whatever the bill they was trying to pass, you chose to go to this rally and you use the pandemic as an excuse to skip in-person voting. Oh, and I don't even have to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Matt Gaetz of Florida, Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida, Paul Gosar, Arizona, Jim Banks, Indiana, Madison Cawthorn, North Carolina, Ted Budd, North Carolina, Mark Green, Tennessee, Darrell Ozzie, California, Ronnie Jackson, Texas. We need to mark that name down, Texas, Ronnie Jackson, Mike Kelly, PA, Pennsylvania, Lauren Boebert, Colorado, Ralph Norman, South Carolina, Divine Nunes, California, and Greg Stuber, Florida. All filed letters with the clerk of the House designated voting proxy due to the ongoing public health emergency. in order to travel to attend CPAC, a super spreader. Knowingly submitting a false statement to the clerk appeared to violate a House rule requiring members' behavior to reflect credibility upon the body. Wonder how they're gonna get out of this one, because at this point, here it is. Now take it. These are some of the same folks that wanted to read every page of the bill, which I think it should be, because one of my biggest concern is why every time a stimulus package come out, they have to add other stuff in there. If it's for America people, let it be for America people. Let's take care of American people and get the money to the people. Here it is. Yeah, I guess President Biden's supposed to sign it on Friday. That's 1,400. Got 600 last time, and what was it last time? The 1,200 or 600 last time? I don't know, but it been a year. It been a year. If it was $3,200, whatever amount it was, $3,200 is for the whole year. People have lost their homes, lost their jobs. Some have lost their life. But here it is. Instead of y'all doing what's right for America people, you want to go to this super spreader in Florida just to build your resume up. Now, hopefully people take a look at you. I know Ronnie Jackson is in my backyard, but he won't be around. Hopefully he get voted out too. Because he's another one. He's not for us, so we're gonna see if we can send him packing. He don't care about us. He care about how he can get his pockets fat. So we're gonna see if we can help send him packing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see when is he um see when is he up for re-election. Oh, see, I got some new. Is this the same one? I know this. I hope this is not him. Cause let me glance over this story real quick because I want to make sure I tell it right. Uh, Want to make sure this is still the same one because I don't want to get them mixed up. Then folks be calling me talking about you put his name out there wrong. Um, I'm gotta excuse. Like I tell y'all all the time, if we run across something, sometimes we have to verify just to see. So um if this, I'm trying to verify this before I say it because I don't want nobody come back. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be him. Okay. So apparently this came out on the 3rd. And this is being reported by CNN. Uh, this is being reported by CNN that apparently Ronnie Jackson, Representative Ronnie Jackson, made sexual comments, drank alcohol, and took Ambien while working as White House physician, Pentagon watchdog fine. And he the Department of Defense Inspector General has issued a stretching review of Representative Ronald Jackson during his time serving as the top White House physician, and concluding that he made sexual and derogatory comments about a female's violate the policy of drinking alcohol while on a presidential trip and took prescription strength sleeping medication that prompt concern from his colleagues about his ability to provide proper care. Hmm. Yeah. And um, the finding outlined in the report, which was obtained by CNN prior to its release on Wednesday, stemmed from a year-long IG investigation into Jackson, who currently represent Texas in the House of Representatives, and sit on the House Armed Service Subcommittee overseeing military personnel that has launched in 2018 is examine allegations that date back to his time serving during the Obama and Trump administration. Members of Congress were briefed on the IG report finding on Tuesday, according to two sources familiar with the matter. So not only did he write a false letter to actually get out of doing his civil duty, what he was elected to do. He was elected to represent Texas, but instead, he decided to get out of voting. While many of Texans are here out of work, been hit hard by the pandemic, don't have a job, or they have a job, they're not making as much as they were. Some have lost their homes. Some don't have food on their table. But instead of doing your duty that you was elected for, you want to lie and blame the pandemic, the reason why you cannot vote in person. And then before then, you actually made sexual comments to a female employee drinking alcohol and taking sleeping pills on the job while on a presidential trip. You're not fit to be a leader. You're not. At this point, you need to step down, resign, then you'll be free to do what you want to do. Because here it is, you representing the people of America, Texas, and you're turning around, you getting out of what you should be doing, which is uh, making laws or signing bills, whatever you want to do, whatever your duty is called for you to do. But you want to go to a super spreader like it's nothing wrong. See, that's the problem with a lot of people today that is in these positions. They get comfortable. They get comfortable, especially when you have a leader like Trump that don't care about nobody but himself. And then it calls the so-called leaders of our states and our local officials, it calls them to say, you know, if Trump can do it, I can do it too. With Ronnie Jackson, it's time for you to step down, resign, get out of office. You harassing a female, causing a hostile work environment. Then you turn around drinking. Um, you drinking and you also taking sleeping pills while drinking. Worse than that. Now, I don't see eye to eye with Trump, but you had a duty. You was on a presidential trip and you done these things. Now the question is, was he the only one? Hmm. Radio said the GOP new slogan should be "Make America Sane Again." Where do they find these terrible leaders? It's time to get them out. We need to start from our local officials and take it all the way up to the White House and get them out, because here it is. This dude drinking, taking sleeping pill, and sexual harassing a female. I don't care if it was a male or a female, it's wrong. It was wrong. But these are the type of leaders that we have. Hell, look at Trump. Trump said the audio tape came out before he was elected. Grab a woman by the kitty cat. He never should have been elected. And because he was okay and people was okay to allow him to do that, other people feel they could do it. Just like Como. Como done some great things up in New York. But I think the last count I seen was 6 different females have came out and spoken against him. Have actually claimed that he said tried to sexual assault them. Now, see, the deal is with that, Como, if this is true, you need to step down and you need to be held accountable. You need to be held accountable. Any sexual assault is wrong. I don't care who you are. It's wrong. But these guys are in these positions and feel like they untouchable. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Just imagine if that was your wife. I know Como not married, but just imagine if that was your wife, your sister, your mother, your aunt, and someone sexual assaulting them or making sexual passes to them. You can't do that. It's wrong. It's one thing to, even then it's wrong. If it's wrong, no matter how you put it. Now, if you kind of flirting with a woman and she tell you she's not interested, leave it alone. But you don't go to the point where it's disrespectful. Because even though you're in these positions, you got to be mindful. People, you have a target on your back. But some of these guys are just flat out wrong. I'm not saying everything that come out is true. Hell, look at Bill, Bill Cosby. But here it is. This man is blind in jail for something that happened, what, in the 80s, 90s? And the person came out and said they wasn't truthful with everything they said, but he's still in jail. I said then, if he did it, he need to be held accountable. But the only thing is with Bill, every time he talked about buying something, a station or something, that's when allegations come out. And unfortunately, that's how it is with a lot of these cases. One person come out, multiple people come out. I don't know if they real or not, but at the same time, they definitely need to be investigated. And if it come out to be true, that person need to be held accountable for it. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. They need to be held accountable. Come on, if you did it, you need to resign. Step down. Step down. And unfortunately, if it goes to court, you need to be held accountable if you did it. It definitely do. That's why we have a a court system in place. Radio said I can't stand bullies. I can't either. That's what we talked about last night with bullies um, on the show. Um, Last night we talked about bullies. Yeah, Plano Police Department in the city of Plano. Yeah, I need to make some changes up there. So need to hold these folks accountable for their action. But definitely, I can't stand bullies either, and it's a shame. It's a shame. So, but man, it been a great night. I'm gonna have to follow this accountable um watchdog group because apparently they've been coming out with a lot of stuff. Um, Campaign for accountability. They've been coming out with a lot of stuff for the last for a while now, and exposing things. Because I never knew about Randy Jackson getting full on the job, made sexual comments, and they don't say if it was. Let me make sure. Da, da, da. Yes, it was a female. Made sexual comment, drinking alcohol, and taking sleeping pills. And uh, while on a presidential trip, what was the president doing? Hmm. Yes, indeed, they don't need to hold. They do need to hold them accountable. I agree with you. They do. They definitely do. So, but man, tonight is Wednesday. Time is going by quick, and I'm trying to work it out where I can get back to my regular schedule, 8 p.m. Um, you have been listening to Speak on It with Who You With Kurt Dog. You can always chat live with us in the chat room during the live show. You can always chat live with us. Um, what if you want to talk about something that we're currently talking about on the show? And um, you can also call in 972-591-3665, 972-591-3665, because we do understand that um, sometimes trying to type, you have so much to say. You can call in, we'll give you time to talk. Only thing we ask that you be respectful. Be respectful. Everybody have their own opinion. And please do not come with conspiracy theory. We won't listen to it. I won't be clicking on no links. I won't be going to no YouTube trying to watch the conspiracy videos. So, but you can always chat live with us. Radio said, after I just said I won't be looking at no YouTube, I found the great YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly. It's a channel where people who have had hard lives tell their stories in a raw and unedited way. I'm gonna have to check that one out because we're working on some stuff and tell you how much stuff we're working on. Miss Risky, she texted me. I got up. I slept late this morning. I got up at 7:20. She texted me about 7:30, about 7:32, and she was like, "Are you up?" I said, "Yes." She called. And she was excited about some stuff she working on. So it's gonna come up in the next couple of weeks that she's working on. She putting it together. She sent me some stuff tonight, but it's gonna be interesting. Um, so definitely be tuned in with that. I don't know what she's gonna. Oh, I do know what she's gonna bring for the history tomorrow, because she's on the show on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central Time, with me on Thursday, my co-host, and she's hot. Miss Risky is a history genius. She love history, so You definitely need to uh, check her out. Not only that, we had a comment last week that came in after the show last week, and this young lady was saying that I think her grandparents were born in, no, her parents. I believe she said her parents. They're born in like 19, I think 1904 or something like that. But either way, she loved that history part that Miss Risky brought last week, and I love it too. So we definitely gonna continue going on with the history. And I keep telling Miss Risky she really should get her night, her her show, whatever she want to talk about. So hopefully y'all can encourage her to do that. We'll see, but she's a very busy person, so I understand why she won't. But I wish she would. It would be nice to have her more than just one night, and but um, this week have really gone. Texas and all the states, please get out and vote next year um, for your midterms. We need to vote for your local election, your state election. Now, also today was the first day of the mask mandate being lifted. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I'm gonna say this: please protect yourself, regardless of where you are, especially here in Texas. Um, some people say the numbers gone down, some people say it don't, but I can tell you this: it's so easy to feel relaxed, where we forget about the pandemic that we're in, because as we're going into the springtime, people are looking like, whoa. Um, Now, according to some states, um, or some cities, like for instance, San Antonio, uh, they saying they reported 96 new COVID-19 case. And I don't know if people are still getting tested. They reported 96 new COVID-19 case, 3 deaths. Normally, when something like this happen, and we've seen it in the past, um, where some people have the numbers to load and all of a sudden it's skyrocketing. We're still in a pandemic. And because we're still in a pandemic and people are sending us emails talking about, don't you want to get away? Uh, this beach is waiting for you. And people are buying these tickets up and going and forgetting about the pandemic. We need to look at the pandemic first. And it's okay to, if you're gonna travel, that's fine, but please protect yourself. And then you have these folks getting on airlines that refusing to wear a mask. If you're gonna travel by air, you don't have a choice. You do not have a choice. You have to wear a mask. If not, they're going to put you off and then you're going to be facing charges. So be mindful of other. If you're in an enclosed place, please wear your mask. That's the only way we're going to be able to get out of this completely. Um, and I know it's a lot of people that still haven't been able to get their vaccine. I seen an alert earlier, I think, here in Texas, in DFW. I think it said if you over 53 or 54, you can start registering to get your vaccine now. So that's gonna be a while. Even ooh, is that okay? That's something else. Even with that, you still have to be careful. Um, I'm trying to get a update on Dallas COVID-19 testing for today. Um, That was San Antonio I reported a while ago, but want to look at Dallas and see where they are. Uh, they had their stuff all confusion. But either way, we know it's spring breaks. We know people gonna go on trips, gonna do this, gonna do that, gonna hang out. Please wear your mask. Wear your mask. It's best to wear your mask instead of being lowered down on the ground 6 feet under because now you're dead. Wear your mask so you won't have to wear a ventilator. Put it like that. And normally when you get on a ventilator, it's not good. So other than that, I appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. Tomorrow night, Miss Risky will be back on the show. We both will be on the show if the good Lord say the same. We will be in at 8 p.m. Central Time. Miss Risky coming with the history for tomorrow. And she sent me the history. It's going to be good for tomorrow, too. So until then, please be safe. Enjoy the sunlight, but be careful. And if you go into a business and they ask you to put a mask on, just do it. Just do it or leave. One of the two. Because it is their business. You cannot force them to change their rules. So until tomorrow night, I appreciate it. Love each and every one of you. Radio, T Cal, and all the other listeners that came on, that Ivan King, that either said something or didn't say anything. I see a lot of them come in. Until tomorrow night, I love each and every one of you.